Hey y'all, this is Kaci. I wasn't gonna make a video today because I figured most of the people watching the channel were probably gonna be prepping for the Super Bowl, but I couldn't resist. And I saw an opportunity that I just had to share with you guys. So make sure you are focused, you have a pen and your paper, and that you're taking notes so that you can go mark up this pair after I show you guys what it is that I'm seeing, and you let me know if you're seeing the same thing too. All right. So for those of you guys who are new to the channel, I work through a multiple time frame analysis. It's a top-down analysis. And so what we do is we go through each time frame, we find the key areas where price has a potential to reverse. And so you might be saying, how do I know what that area is? Well, there are swing lows and swing highs that we pick up on every time frame. If you don't know what that is, I definitely encourage you to go through the no-cost mini course so we can be on the same page about what it is that I'm talking about, and you can follow along, and this will make all the more sense to you. All right. So I have started off on the monthly time frame. I've identified my highs and my lows, and let me just backtrack. I don't think we have anything higher. I'm gonna click on the candle to double check and see where the high was for this. It was 7921, and I think this one is still lower. This one was 86889. Yep, so this is higher. All right, so I've identified the levels that I think are relevant right now. Given where price currently is, I can't mark a high because we don't have enough information. So I'm going to go down to the lower time frame, which is the weekly, and then I'm going to go through, I'm going to do the same thing that I just got done doing. Okay? So this was a candle for all last week, right? All of last week. This can't be considered a low just yet, but when the market opened, by technical definition, it will be a low. So I'm going to turn that blue. Now, color code because I want to be able to take a look at the charts while I'm on the go and pull up my phone and see where we are so I can understand, if I should be getting ready to look at something or to execute, or, no matter what it is, I can keep aware of what's going on with price. So I'm marking all of my areas on this weekly time frame, and I'm gonna zoom out just a little. I've gotten everything that I want for now. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop down to the daily, and I'm gonna do the same thing again. Now the magic of this is actually in the later part of the video, right? Right now we're just drawing areas for support and resistance. That's it. When I get to the later part of the video, then you'll really be able to understand what it is that I'm doing, right? And why I'm doing this. Because my goal is to create an argument as to why that doesn't go there. As to why my outlook regarding the setup makes sense, right? So I'm just gonna grab all of my areas. All right. I think I'm good there. We'll drop that here, and then I'll drop one more here, and then I'm done. Actually, hold on. I see something over here. Yes, I do. So I'm gonna grab this too. And now I'm done. I don't need to go anymore because relevant to where price is, this is a long way away, right? But I've just gotten into the practice of marking what it is that I see. I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna drop down to the 4, and then I'm gonna mark the additional levels that I do see. So I see a high here. I'm gonna turn this gray, and I don't have a high here. I do have a low that I can pick up on, and I may have had that on the daily, so I might have to go back and double check that. I see a low here. Uh-oh. And I got a low here. Now today in the US is Super Bowl Sunday. Hopefully some of y'all are still marking charts and setting things up for the rest of the week and didn't throw your whole week away in preparation for this game. I'm not hating on football. I'm just saying, priorities, right? Priorities. But let me know in the comments who it is that y'all are rooting for to win. I think it's about time for somebody else to win other than the Chiefs. So call it a little hater. Call me a hater. But I definitely want to see somebody else take that spot. Okay. So I've done everything that I need to do as far as is concerned with the the support and resistance. Lord, if I could think. So now what is important and what is key is that I am going to find what the overall direction is and where we fall in the sequence. And you're probably asking, like, how are you about to do that? So I'm gonna grab my smart fib tool, I'm gonna click it, and I'm gonna click below the last low. Now this tells me nothing. So I'm gonna go to my next significant low. And we got active fib. So looking at this from the monthly time frame, our deepest pullback was to the 8-6 level, which is right here. So I know my target is going to be the 118. So I'm going to drop this line here. Uh-oh, if I can get it exactly. I'm going to double click it. I'm going to say monthly D extension so that I am aware and I have it. All right. So this is good, right? It's good. It tells me what's going on in the higher time frame, but I can't do nothing with this information right now. So let me move this over. Hold on. I can't do anything with the information right now. So I'm going to go down to the weekly and I'm going to deploy the fib again. So I'm going to go to my lowest point, grab the smart fib, drop my fib, and overall, let me turn this green. This should have been, that line should have been green because that's a TP, right? So I'm going to drop another one and I'm going to say this is my weekly D extension. And I'm going to turn that blue because that's my weekly. All right. So now that I've gotten that, this is cool. This is good. I do want to take my fib and I want to see where we are here. So I'm going to drop here. Now, if you're trying to figure out why did she pick right there, you got to go through the mini course. You got to go through the mini course. So looking at this and looking at the current leg of price, because this is what I want to see, right? That overall structure is great. That gives me an idea long-term what's going on. But what's active right now, what I can get into right now is this, right? So we have an A low, we have a B high. We don't have a solid pullback yet. What we did get was less than a 23.6. So we got huge rejection last week with all the things that are going on between Canada, United States, what they're doing. We had a situation where the Canadian dollar was stronger than the US dollar, right? And so this set up the perfect opportunity for a daily level to be formed. And y'all, I think I messed up. Oh, this is the weekly. Okay, so I did have a high. I was about to say I messed up, y'all. But so this is the active fib. And right now what I would say this is doing is I see that we had a shallow retracement, right? Less than a 23.6. We pulled up, we stalled out at the 118,127. So on the weekly time frame, I would be anticipating for price to pull back at least to the weekly 38.2, which is at 14072. So I'm gonna do weekly 38.2. And we'll leave that blue. And then I'm also paying attention to the 61.8. So this zone, this is a big zone, right? 200 pips. This is weekly 61.8. So I'm paying attention to these because I know that any of these red levels really, truly after 23.6, price has the potential to come back and test one before it goes up to finish out the sequence of this active fib, right? So I'm anticipating that we're taking a trip to the downside for a little while right now. Now, if I just turn off the fib and I go back to the basics of market structure, right? I'm going to turn off the fib and I go back to the basics of market structure. I'm looking at how this is forming. Like, y'all know the basics of when we break through a significant level, we typically come back and we test it as potential, the opposite of what it was. So when I look back at this chart and I see that right in here, price proved to be a solid area of resistance. We have resistance back in 22 here. We had resistance in the zone in 23, resistance again in 23, resistance again in the zone in 24, resistance again in 24. And now we've broken through that level. So my thought process is that price is coming back without a fib, just looking at structure. Price is coming back to test this zone. Now, where in the zone exactly? I don't know, right? But I can use the fib levels, my sweet spot levels, as a guide for where I think price may revisit before continuing to the upside. So I'm bearish right now on USDCAD. Now on the weekly, well, you see that it was bullish, but right now I just keep it simple. I'm bearish right now. I'm bearish until I get other clues as to why I should be looking for a buy. But we see that our weekly 618 level is here. This is probably the 50 zone. I'm going to drop a fib on it and let's see. It is. It's our 50 zone. So I'm going to drop a horizontal line here. And I'm going to do weekly 50. So these are retracement levels, aka potential entry zones. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to delete this off, and I'm going to start working my way down. So on the daily, now that I know where I'm at on the weekly, I want to look to the downside, right? I don't have enough information here for me to look to the downside with a fib, right? There's not enough. Smart fib cannot be created. That's what it says. So I'm going to go down to a lower time frame. And now I got some information, right? I have enough information on this. So I'm looking at this, and what we have is an A high, we have a B low, and then we have somewhat of a retracement kind of here, right? Less than a 23.6. And let me make sure I'm looking at this right. I take that back. We had A high, B low, 23.6 pullback. Prices stalled against the 118.127 on the weekly level, right? Weekly support. Our D extension sits outside of this weekly support level at 1426, and our D extension is at 1414. So there are a couple things that can happen, and what I'm going to set up for is that we could, but I don't know that we will. We might, I don't know. So I'm gonna set this up for a potential buy. Let me get my smart fib to make sure I drew this right. I mean my smart trend line. Nope, your girl did not. I was trying to be a little conservative because I didn't think price traveled that way, but let's see. So I'm gonna throw my smart trend line on here and let's pull this out. Let me get rid of this. Oh, there we go. That should be it. Let's see. Almost. We'll move it over a smidge, if it will move for me. Okay, now I'm gonna double check it. It's good enough. It's good enough. So we did have a bullish trend line break, but we are testing this weekly zone again. There could be a couple things that can happen. So in this type of setup where we see like so much momentum to the downside, USDCAD flew last week, right? It flew 500 something pips, I think. Let me measure. It flew from the high to the lowest point, 528 pips in 1 week. USDCAD really don't be moving like that a lot of times. But like I said, with everything that happened, that's what we saw. So there are a couple things that can happen. I don't know that I'm truly convinced this is a bullish move yet, right? We're back here testing this weekly zone, this weekly level of support. Me putting the trend line here really doesn't give me a whole lot of information. I'd be more interested in having it here at this point because this is where price is. So there's a couple things we can see happen. Now, we do have a 4-hour level of resistance here that price would have to break through in order for this to be valid. But we have to form our low, and then we have to have bullish break to the upside. Now, looking at all of the CAD pairs, I can see the potential for this. And we would test this 4-hour level. And then I could see price traveling at least back to this level here at 14560 before making a continuation to the downside to finish out the sequence. Now, that D extension over here on the 4-hour is, what is this? Like 60, 70 pips away from the weekly 38.2 to where price could potentially react at. But looking at structure again, there may be more potential downside. And also price is really, really attracted to those higher time frame support and resistance levels. So we have a daily, our first daily level at 1398. We have a second, 1398. We have a second daily level at 1394. So I would not be surprised if we saw price come all the way down here first before we figure out if we're going to keep moving to the downside, or are we going to start seeing price set up to build for the buy scenario, right? So, but for now, taking this in smaller doses, for now, my D extension is right here. So there's an opportunity for a buy, but ultimately the move is for the sell, right? So looking at this from the perspective of a buy, if we were, that's 245 pips to the upside. And then if we do get confirmation for the sell, then you're looking at almost 400 pips to the D extensions of the 4-hour fib. So what do? I'm going to drill down and I'm going to set this up. And I got this a little too close. Hold on. Let me adjust this. And I am going to, I'm trying to find my phone. Y'all, well, the folks in my coaching course, they know I don't use the stochastic RSI on the platform. I like it on my cell phone better. So I was trying to find my phone so I could look it up for y'all and see where we are if we're approaching the buy zone. Because that aligned with everything else that we got going on could be confirmation for a move to the upside. So the other thing that I should go over too is that price could just break through this weekly level, right? We could break right on down, right through this 4-hour, right through the weekly, and continue to the downside until we reach the target at 141333, right? But the other thing could be that we see the break to the upside. So I'm gonna drill down. This is the hour chart. I'm gonna go to the 15 and we'll adjust this. And then I'm gonna draw my ray. I don't like the way that looks, but it looks like it's right. I'm gonna get the smart trend line to test. Nope, it's not given to me. That's what I said. I don't like the way that looks. Let me do it again just to make sure. Yeah, I don't like the way it looks. So it's not giving me a trend line, right? A more aggressive trend line. So I would say I'd wait. Is this low or lower than that? 2733, 2731. So you can get an active fib off the low. So this pull down here, this would be the next target. This green. Oh, our break. I would wait until we get a break. So I wouldn't trade this until we break 14305. And so let me adjust this. I'm gonna adjust this to how I would need to see it. So I'm going to go from the move to the upside. I want to see a bullish break. And let me move this over. And then I want to see a backside retest, which would also be the D extension for the current pullback. And then if you look left, this level was a level that price really liked, right? So either this level will prove to be support or resistance, or we'll push back up and then start making our way to the upside. But I wouldn't execute anything on this as far as a buy is concerned until we break through that level, because as I mentioned, price could continue to push on up or push on down and finish out the sequence that way. So right now my thoughts are what I just shared. That I'm not executing nothing on this unless we break through 143. That could be set up as a buy stop, right? For those of you guys in monthly coaching, tell me in the comments what the buy stop is if you're watching this. And then We could be on the move to the upside, at least to the 4-hour, 38.2, because the setup is on the 4-hour, right? Setup is on the 4. The alternative, and you see me, my OCD. I'm trying to get this right, get these lines together. But on the 4-hour is where the setup is, right? We got the 23.6 pullback. We got the stall out, right? We could see price come back up here and then complete the sequence out. Or the alternative is that we continue to break on down. I mean, look at these wicks though. I'm looking at this and I'm looking at on the 4-hour, you had a lot of selling pressure, a lot of selling pressure. So we very well could just see price break below and finish out the sequence that way. So we'll be watching, right? We'll be watching to see what happens. But ultimately, I think the move is still to the downside. I think we will land right around 14130 before we can start to see the potential of price moving to the upside. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you got in last week on USDCAD and picked up any of those 528 pips, kudos to you. Leave it in the comments. Let me know. And I will see y'all on the next video. Also, if you are wanting support, right? You're wanting coaching, you're wanting trading, you've taken my course, then make sure you visit the link in the video description. If you're like, Kaci, I really like your approach to the market. I really like how simple and clean it is. I want to learn how to do this. Then go ahead, visit the no-cost mini course. I give you some really good information there. But nonetheless, I hope you guys remain safe. I hope that you enjoy your Sunday, and I will see you guys next week on the charts. There will be another Trading View video that will be out for you guys soon. It's Super Bowl Sunday, so I don't think many people would be looking at it, but I'll get back to it for you all. Anyway, have a phenomenal week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.